What's up, guys? It's Courtney, Brothers of Deconstruction here. This is gonna be my review for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where have you been? That's a good question. Life, work, laziness. But yeah, I'm using my selfie stick. So the thing with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Is it good? Should I go see it? Blah, blah, blah. For all 5 of the people that follow us, I do think that you should go see the movie because you have to form your own opinion. What I will say is I enjoyed the movie. I did. I don't think it was a great movie, but I also don't think it's as bad as a lot of the other reviewers made it seem. Where to start? By the way, spoiler, Ben Affleck, I think he did a really good job as Bruce Wayne and Batman. This is a very different Batman that we've never seen before on film. Probably the most brutal, and that's not even like probably. He is the most brutal Batman we have ever gotten on film. He like straight up like murders people. He's just really, really angry and he's old and world weary, so he's kind of sick of people's shit. And honestly, I don't have a problem with him killing people because I think as a character, Batman's no-kill rule makes him kind of a horrible hero or vigilante or whatever like that. Because it's like a revolving door of villains for him. Like, oh, he doesn't kill them, he puts them in Arkham. They just come right back out as soon as he walks away. And so I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, back to the movie. I think Ben Affleck, now there are some people who are saying that he's the best Batman we ever had on film. I can see where they're coming from with it. I don't know if I wholeheartedly agree with that. I like the action in the movie when it happened. And what I mean by that is the action would grab my attention. And it held my attention. There just wasn't all that much of it. See, the thing with this movie is that it's going to be very, very decisive. Even now, it's very, very hard to like singularly pick out something that I like without diving right into something that I dislike. What I didn't like about the movie is basically it didn't really know what it wanted to be. And I'll say this, I probably shouldn't have watched as many reviews that I did before I went to go see the movie because they did a fan screening like Monday night. People started uploading their reviews maybe sometime Tuesday. I've been watching reviews since Tuesday. Now, the good thing about that is that a lot of reviews were either one side or the other. Like nobody really, like maybe only a handful hated the movie. They didn't like the movie. Everybody else enjoyed it. And maybe there was only like, a handful that really thought it was great. But I think a lot of the reviews almost poisoned the well because they made me expect certain things in the movie that weren't the way that they said they were. Like, I have problems with the editing. Now, watching the reviews, they said that the editing and the pacing was terrible. While I do think the actual build up to the confrontation between Batman and Superman was kind of long before their very first confrontation, like in the trailer when Superman rips the roof off the Batmobile, that's their first interaction with each other. And I think the build up to when it got to that point was kind of long, but I understood why they were doing it because really this is like from Batman's perspective and from not just his perspective but from everybody's perspective that don't think Superman is a hero for what happened in Man of Steel. I do agree with a lot of the reviews that said there were loose threads kind of hanging around that could have been cut away, but we're getting a 3-hour cut of the movie, so maybe everything will make a little bit more sense. My problem with the pacing and the editing was that, is it possible to keep a consistent tone in a movie yet still have scenes be jarring? Because what came off to me was that it would cut back and forth between a somber moment or a more relaxed moment and cut to something a little bit more dark and scary. Not scary, but a little bit more almost depressing. And I was sitting there and I was like, this is kind of weird. Another problem that I had with the reviews that I watched, and I think that they almost poisoned the well, was Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I didn't think he was terrible. I don't think he's like the quintessential Lex Luthor now, but I think he's on the road to maybe being that. And one thing that I saw in a lot of reviews were saying that he was very like Jim Carrey And so when it came to that, I think there was over the topness with it, but at the same time, it wasn't that over the top. I was literally expecting him to be spazzing out and jumping all over the place. And it was a little bit more subdued. It would be like he would be talking like, oh, yes. And it wasn't like really, really crazy. So I was expecting to go in and see him like jump all over the place, and it didn't happen. And I was like, okay, that's not what I was expecting. But I think he did a fine performance. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman during the party scene when her and Bruce were talking, I think she did really, really good. I do think she had lines that she delivered a little wooden, you know, not any like type of personality to the lines delivered. And now the crowd that we were with, they applauded when she appeared in the battle. But I do think when she showed up, it was very, very exciting because it was like, oh snap, Wonder Woman's here. Another thing for Henry Cavill, man, to basically have this essentially be the Man of Steel sequel, he really did get the short end of the stick, which I don't think he deserves. I think for what they had him do in the movie, he did pretty well in. They just didn't give him a lot to do. And then they pull like the death of Superman at the end of the movie. And it's just like, oh, come on, man. That's my overall problem with the movie. They tried to do too much, and then they also didn't do enough for what they were doing. A lot of the motivations, like Batman, he's the only one that I understood, like why he had beef with Superman. Didn't understand why Clark was going after Batman in the paper, or why he wanted to go after Batman in the paper. That's something that a Man of Steel sequel could have showed us, like his character and the type of reporter that he is. I do think that Lois Lane, while she's a strong female character, I do think that at some point in the movie, she became a damsel in distress, and it got really irritating because in Man of Steel and earlier in this film, comes off as a hard-nosed kind of reporter. Like in a Man of Steel movie, she was like, okay, if we're done measuring dicks here, can you show me, you know, what you guys have found? And earlier in this movie, you know, Superman has to come and save her, but it's not for like, oh, Clark, help me. It's like he went to go chase after a lead. And even then, it's with like a African like terrorist or something like that. She flat out asked him, so are you a warmonger or a terrorist? And he was like, they didn't tell me that I would be interviewing with a female journalist. She was like, I'm just a journalist. Are you ready to answer the question that I asked you? But then later on in the movie, it's like, that's just my problem with Lois Lane. I don't wanna have this review be super, super long. But I enjoyed the movie. It definitely has its problems. I'd go see it again just so I can catch everything. But they did really try to fit a lot into it, even with the Justice League cameos. On one end, the reviews told me that they were like kind of like shoehorned in. And on the other hand, they told me that they were like great. I'm kind of in the middle. While I enjoyed what I saw, I do think that it was like the most ham-fisted way to include them. Like, oh, I sent this email. Lex has all this information on the metahumans. Here you go. And then Wonder Woman was like clicking the files and we see everything. And literally they should have like put a interlude in the movie and be like, you're members of the Justice League. And that would have still worked. Also, they not even like try to make Ezra Miller look like Barry Allen because he really looked like a hippie, and I just don't understand. Also, was I the only one that thought when Barry first appeared to Bruce in that dream that he looked like Red Hood until like the helmet came up? Or is that just me? Why are they giving Cyborg a movie? I don't understand. I just don't. I'm intrigued to see Wonder Woman's movie. I'm intrigued to kind of see how all of this comes together in the Justice League film. I do think they try to do a lot with it. And while it was enjoyable, it does have its flaws. But do I recommend that you go see it? Just like I said at the beginning, I do recommend that you go see it so you can form your own opinion. So I guess I should give it a rating. It's between like a 7 out of 10 for me. Like I said, it's an enjoyable movie. There were things that kind of took me out of it, and there are definite problems with the movie. However, I do not think if you've read any reviews about it, or if you've watched any reviews like me, and they like flat out said, oh, this movie is enjoyable, but it definitely has like its problems, this, and this. Scale it down a little bit, and that'll probably be a little bit more accurate for you. It's an enjoyable film, and I do think that it has its problems. Those problems, in my opinion, are really exaggerated in everybody's reviews. I also think that Zack Snyder is already too late to say that he shouldn't be directing the Justice League movie. It's too late for that. I think they go into production next month. They start filming next month. So I don't think that he should direct the second part of the Justice League movie, because he has a track record of not being able to really tell a cohesive or consistent story, and you can't have that with the Justice League movie. Again, the rating that I give it is 7 out of 10. Maybe I'll do another video on what I do with the property or how I would have done things. Who knows? Hopefully we'll start uploading a little bit more content. The previous video that we just got up was our interview with Austin St. John, so check that out. And if you like what you see, this is the first time I've done this, but like and subscribe. Maybe we'll get this channel rolling or whatever like that. And I still got some things that I'm trying to work out so we can start uploading more content. So yeah,